Hello 3-4S and welcome to week 2's preview video. The content on this video will look at this week's content to give you an idea and to have you already know things before we learn them in class, so you know what we're learning about and you can answer all the questions. So you can watch this as many times as you need to. You can stop it and go back and start it again, and that's what you should be doing, watching it over and over again, because practice makes perfect. We know that we practice and practice and practice. There'll be some questions at the end if you'd like to answer them to earn you some dojo points. But this is on this week's content, so we'll go through it slowly and then we'll learn it again in class so you've got a good understanding before you learn it. We'll be looking at, in this video for our literacy, we're looking at procedures. Grammar, we'll be looking at exclamation marks. Maths, we're looking at 2D shapes. Hizzy, we're looking at national parks, and for science we're doing simple machines. So that's what's coming up in this video, but we'll start with the top one, procedures. So a procedure is a fixed step-by-step sequence of activities or actions that must be followed in the same order to correctly perform a task. So it's a step-by-step set of instructions that you need to follow in order to perform a task. We find these things in like cookbooks when you're making things, or making other things, instruction books like making paper aeroplanes or origami or something like that. So that's what a procedure is. It's following a set of steps to achieve a goal, to achieve something at the end. So maybe we don't know what we're doing, so that's why we look at a procedure to help us solve a problem and make something. So procedure needs a couple of steps. When we're writing our procedures, they need to make sure they've got a couple of things to make it correct. The first one, like everything, we need a title. What are you making? What is the point of this procedure? What are you doing? Then we have the goal, which is more detailed info or information on what you are making. So it's maybe a sentence or two about exactly what you are making. You have an ingredients list, which is all the foods and liquids that you need, all the stuff that you might need to go to the shops to buy. We have an equipment list, so stuff from the kitchen, that's stuff from the drawers or the cupboards, like pots or pans or the toaster or glasses or a spoon or knives, all the stuff from the kitchen that you might need in order to help you make what you're going to do. Then we have the method, which is the accurate steps in order to make the item. And they've got to be in order. So they're the steps that you follow in order to complete what you'd like to make. And the last of all, we have the test. So that's how will you know if you have done everything right? How will you know if you've followed all these steps? And that's what the steps are in writing up a procedure. We need the title, goal, ingredients, equipment, method, and test. So looking further into the title, it's just that simple, what are you making? That further information. So my title might be a paper aeroplane. So I'm obviously going to make a paper aeroplane. My title might be Milo and honey toast, or it could be chocolate ice cream with sprinkles. So it's just that title, that heading. What is this procedure about? So everyone knows as soon as they look at it, they look at the title and they know exactly what this procedure will be doing. Then we have the goal. So the goal, remember, is that bit of extra information, maybe that sentence or two, which helps us look a bit further into detail. What exactly is this procedure about? Yep, we know it's about a paper aeroplane, but it gives us a bit more information. So we can say this procedure will make one paper aeroplane. If we had a title of Milo and honey toast, our goal, which is this sentence here, might be this procedure will make 2 slices of toast with honey and 1 cup of Milo. So that's the goal. It's a bit more information about what you're doing. Chocolate ice cream with sprinkles is our title, and our goal might be this procedure will make 1 bowl of chocolate ice cream covered with sprinkles. So it lets people know, yes, they've looked at the title, but they look at the goal and go, well, what is more detail about this procedure? So we have our title and our goal. This is our goal here. And remember, the point of the goal is to add more detailed information on what you're making. Looking on to exclamation marks. So an exclamation mark are punctuation marks used at the end. That's important, at the end of a remark to show strong feeling or emotion. So this is looking at our grammar now. This is looking at our writing to make our writing more descriptive, more persuasive, to make it better writing. So it's a punctuation mark used at the end of a remark to show strong feeling or emotion. So if we said something like, stop, we put an exclamation mark there because it's showing us strong feeling. We go, stop, straight away. Look at that. We put an exclamation mark because we want to show the reader that that's a strong feeling or emotion. Or something like, oh no, Mummy's going to be so angry, exclamation mark. And that's what this little symbol is here. That stroke with the dot on, almost an upside down I. So it's to show that strong feeling and emotion. We go, oh no! Oh, look at that! Oh, stop! What are you doing? So that's how we tell the reader that that word is very important. And it should be read a bit out loud and with a bit of feeling and emotion. So that's what exclamation marks are. There's these little upside down eyes, that stroke and the dot at the bottom that we put at the end of the words that show our strong feelings or emotions. That's what an exclamation mark is. We'll also be looking at 2D shapes for math this week, more specifically looking at quadrilaterals. That's a long word, you might like to say it a couple of times. Quadrilaterals, quadrilaterals, quadrilaterals. So quadrilaterals are flat shapes, so 2D, we're not looking at 3D, so we're looking at flat shapes with, here's the important bit, 4 straight sides. It has to have 4 straight sides. And we call it a quadrilateral because quad means 4. So if anyone's been on a quad bike, like on a farm, we know that has 4 wheels. So quad means 4. So a quadrilateral is a flat shape with 4 straight sides. So we've got some examples here. These are all quadrilaterals. They're all 2D shapes and they've all got 4 straight sides. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 straight sides. 1, 2, 3, 4 straight sides. And this one's okay as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of these have 4 straight sides. So we can call them a quadrilateral. Keep going on quadrilaterals. Like I said, they're flat shapes with 4 straight sides. And here are some more examples. A parallelogram has 4 straight sides. A rectangle has 4 straight sides. A rhombus has 4 straight sides. A square has 4 straight sides. A trapezium has 4 straight sides. And a kite. These are all 2D shapes that we'll learn, but they are all quadrilaterals as well because they have those 4 straight sides. Very important. So that's what we're doing in math this week, 2D shapes and looking at quadrilaterals, which are flat shapes with 4 straight sides. Okay, moving on to national parks. This is what we'll be doing in HSIE, HSIE this term, looking at state and national parks and what we can do to help preserve them. We'll be looking further into those. But a national park, here's a bit of a definition for you. A national park are areas of land that protect certain parts of our country. So they're parts where we're not allowed to build on them. We're not allowed to go and almost camp in them. They're special places that we keep safe. So we protect it. So we're almost not allowed in them. Sometimes we are on special tracks, but they're special places where we hope we can keep the following things there. So we've got them to help protect the native plants and animals and their habitats, because we don't want anything to go extinct or to die off. That's why we have a national park, so that all the koalas, for example, have a nice safe place to live. We don't keep cutting down their trees. Places of natural beauty, so maybe a beautiful waterfall or something like that. We can protect that as a national park, so no one can change it. Historic heritage we can classify as a national park, and Aboriginal cultural heritage. Now, a great example of that is Uluru or Ayers Rock. If everyone knows that one, we can call that a national park because it's a special cultural place for Indigenous Australians. So we can say that's a national park. It's an area of land that protects certain parts of Australia or our country. So these are the 4 examples. So Newcastle examples that we have here in Newcastle, if anyone's been to these ones, is the Blackbutt Reserve. We can go see some animals. That's a park. That's looking to save the native plants and animals and the habitats. We've also got Glenrock State Conservation Area, closer to Newcastle, looking to conserve animals and plants in their habitats. It's also probably a place of natural beauty. It's got some good rivers. But that's what a national park is. It's an area of land that protects a certain part of a country. And that's what we're going to look further into in our HSIE this term, looking at national parks. Simple machines, last one before our questions. We're going to look at simple machines. This is for our science this term, looking at what is a machine, and a simple machine, not normal machines, and how do they help us in our everyday lives. So let's read it here together. A machine is a tool containing one or more parts that uses energy to perform an intended action. I know that can be a bit confusing, but like I said, when we get to class this week, we'll go through it. This is just so you get a good idea, so you've already got some thoughts in your head. So a machine is a tool containing one or more parts that uses energy to perform an intended action. So it's something you use to help you. A simple machine, this is what we're looking at this term, simple machines. A simple machine is a device that simply transforms the direction or magnitude of a force. Here's the important bit, which might be in your question later. There are 6 simple machines that we'll be looking at this term. So 6 of them, and you've got to do your very best to memorize them, because I may ask you throughout the week. So these include the wheel, like that goes on our car. The wheel, nice and round, it helps us move things, helps us go places. We have the wheel. We have the pulley, which is like on a crane that lifts up big things to build buildings. It's on a big string and it pulls up. That's a pulley. So it pulls up all those big building blocks and we can build things with it. We have a screw, like you'd screw something into the wall, like our flying toy that we've been playing with. That's an example of a screw which turns things in order to move forward. We have a lever. Now a lever is almost like a seesaw, if anyone's been on a seesaw. It's almost a straight piece that can rick and go back and forth. And a good example of a lever, if anyone's tried this, is when you've got your spoon and you're able to hit the part where that goes in your mouth and it'll shoot the other end up. That's a good example of a lever. An inclined plane is like a ramp. In order for us to get up very high, we can build a ramp so we can just walk up. And the last one is a wedge, like if we had an axe and we were chopping wood. So an axe is a good example of a wedge that can split the wood in half. So those are the 6 machines. We have the wheel, we have the pulley, we have the screw, we have the lever, the inclined plane, and the wedge. There are 6 there, which you need to memorize. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The wheel, the pulley, the screw, the lever, the inclined plane, and the wedge. And we're going to learn about those throughout the term, but if you can start memorizing those, you're way ahead. Okay, some dojo questions. You can earn 1 dojo per correct question, so you might need to pause this video, go and get a piece of paper and a pencil, and write the answers to these if you would like. Okay, you might need to pause and get it, and play it again. Question 1. Why do we write a goal in a procedure? Why do we need to write the goal? What is the goal for? Why do we need to write a goal? Remember, with these questions, you might need to go back, start the video again. Question 2. Write 1 example of an exclamation mark. So could you write on your answer sheet, you need to write an example. What's one you can think about where you use an exclamation mark? So remember again, you might have to go back, watch this video again, or find the part that talks about exclamation marks. Question 3. How many straight sides do quadrilaterals have? So we talked about that. How many straight sides do quadrilaterals have? Write that down. Question 4. Why do we have national parks? What are national parks for? We talked about that in my video. You might need to write a sentence or 2. Why do we have national parks? And last question, name 5 of the 6 simple machines. So there's 6 of them. You only need to name 5 of them. Can you name 5 if you can? And there's 5 questions there. That's your chance to earn 5 dojo points. You might need to stop the video and start it again. Watch it over and over because practice makes perfect. And hopefully you've got a good understanding of all of these things. All of these, because that's what we're learning this week. And you should already know them if you've watched this video a couple of times. And I'll see you in class.